Warning: this video contains satirical and dry humor. Please remember to stay hydrated. The Gunner Gundam is a mystery, wrapped inside of an enigma. Of all the world's mysteries, there can perhaps be none as big as understanding the purpose of such a machine. Even greater than that of why do 100 and 150 cost mobile suits exist. From what experts have gathered, it is known that it first appeared sometime shortly after the game launched in 2019 of the Common Era. It arrived as a nomad, along with other 400 cost mobile suits. Beyond that, the rest is anyone's guess. We know very little of its people, for it is believed that they were wiped out long ago on a scale not seen since the Bronze Age collapse. Along with its people, its way of life, culture, and values have all been lost to history. Many who try to gain a better understanding of the Gunner Gundam often give up earlier than they do with most other mobile suits. This is in large part because its language is perhaps the most difficult to learn in all the world. It is estimated that around 41% of all the world's languages are in danger of going extinct. And out of all those, the language of the Gunner Gundam is the most endangered. Not only is it difficult to learn, but it is near impossible to speak fluently. A simple solution would have been to speak to the Gunner Gundam itself, but even among its fellow 400 cost support introverts, it is extremely quiet and gives players very little to work with. All it has is a beam sniper rifle and some lackluster head Vulcans. This has led some to believe that the Gunner Gundam is in exile. It was banished from its people and stripped away from any real weapons and skills. Now, piloting such a machine is reserved for those who choose to punish themselves. Maybe they broke some girl's heart who they later realized was the one, but now she's moved on and found her husband and started a family with him. Maybe they invested in the wrong Bitcoin for the third straight time. Or maybe they're looking for a reason to pick up drinking again. Its beam sniper rifle can stun without having to be focused. It only takes 1.5 seconds to focus for increased damage, and it takes just as quick to refresh in between shots. Normally, that would make it for the best sniper with the beam rifle in the game. However, its quick cooldown rate in between shots works against it, because it's too quick for its own good. The heat rate takes up about 75% per shot, meaning that unless you want to overheat the rifle with 2 consecutive shots, you still can't shoot that quickly. Someone trying to understand the language of the Gunner Gundam might think that that's fine. It can stun without having to be focused, and that's something that the previous 2 supports we discussed on here lacked. And that would be true. Unfortunately, a non-focused shot does little damage coming from a suit that's supposed to be a support. It might work to hold off an incoming enemy for a few seconds, but that brings us back to the problem with firing too quickly. It will overheat and next all you'll have will be your head Vulcans. I'm sure you'll give the raids a good tickle with those, if they can fill it through the maneuver armor, that is. Since it has a silhouette similar to the GM Sniper 2, one could be forgiven for thinking that it can be used in the same way. It has Gundam in its name after all. Surely it should be superior to a GM, but the GM Sniper 2 has a ballistic rifle that doesn't need to worry about overheat. At least not until it fires at 6 rounds. With all that being said, if the Gunner Gundam can find the right spot on a map, it might actually do some good. Until it gets spotted. When that happens, players can either be in a complete party for a team they can rely on for help, or have good outstanding citizens for randoms protecting them. This leads some experts to believe that perhaps the Gunner Gundam is far more dependent to specific maps than other supports are. It might make for a decent support if it had an additional weapon, or if its rifle had a secondary weapon mode similar to the Delta Gundam's beam rifle. Stronger head Vulcans could also help. For skills, it has anti-jamming and anti-stealth, which do help, if only it had the capability to capitalize on them. And so, this is why so many who try to learn the Gunner Gundam's language very often give up. Very few have tried and gained some level of understanding, but it's an even rarer sight than that of the Heavy Gundam. Some estimates suggest that for every 5 heavies there is 1 gunner, although other experts believe that ratio to be more like 10 to 1. At most, it serves as a collector's item, something to place in a home for decoration. Maybe it can serve as a coat hanger, or maybe it can serve as a large paperweight. Until we can find some way of translating its language, it will continue to be overlooked. If we knew where its homeland actually was, or if the developers remember that it actually exists, then perhaps we can find some form of ancient Rosetta Stone to learn its ways. Until it learns to speak up for itself in the 400 cost lobbies, it will continue to be passed up for literally every other support. Even the GM Cannon, the original one, is superior at this point at 400. I say 400 because 450 and 500 cost matches are asking too much for a mutant mobile suit. It's the last of its kind and has surely suffered through enough. Not to mention the humiliation of having Gundam in the name and still getting surpassed by every GM and Zaku in its cost and support class is far too much for anyone to endure. Even when it was first released, it struggled greatly. As far as anyone can tell, it seems that the Gunner Gundam was always doomed to fail. This has been Mobile Suit K9, signing off now.